So today I will talk to you about Diamond Discovery Hub. But first of all, I will say a couple of words about the Craft2A project, because Diamond Discovery Hub was created within this project. So Craft2A is a project that was funded by Horizon Europe. It was launched in January 2023 and will run for 3 years. Diamond Discovery Hub, Craft2A has a consortium of 23 institutions from 14 European countries, and you can see their wonderful logos on the right side. And overall, the main idea of the project was to improve the technical and organizational infrastructure of Diamond Open Access. Now, what is Diamond Discovery Hub? Diamond Discovery Hub is a comprehensive registry of institutionally published and scholar-led open access journals without author fees in Europe. It was designed to increase visibility, discoverability, and recognition of Diamond journals, and to provide institutional publishers with a tool for showcasing their capacity on the journal level. Diamond Discovery Hub, or DDH in short, is a key exploitable result number 1 of the Craft2A project, which means that it will be further developed and sustained after the end of the Craft2A project. It will become one of the services of the European Diamond Capacity Hub, alongside with other important services such as DOAS, Diamond Open Access Standard, that you may have heard about. If not, stay tuned on the updates of this European Diamond Capacity Hub. Now, the next graph presents the structure, the overall structure of the Diamond Discovery Hub. On top, you will find the sources of journal metadata, which mainly will be IPSPs or institutional publishers, but also other sources. The ingest of journal data into DDH will be possible either via a spreadsheet upload or via OAI-PMH, and later other ingest methods can be added. Inside DDH, there are modules for the management of journals, journal sources, and users, as there are different user roles in DDH. Diamond journals will be made available for display and search on our website, and they will also be made available for harvesting to all kinds of aggregators via OAI-PMH. So this was a general overview of the system, and during the presentation today, I will provide you with some details. So Diamond Discovery Hub will rely on operational Diamond criteria formulated by the joint task force from the Craft2A project and its sister project called DIAMAS, both European projects. And this set of criteria allows for binary classification between Diamond journals, journals that fulfill all these criteria, and non-Diamond journals in the context of Diamond Discovery Hub. These 6 criteria are persistent identification, scholarly journal, open access with open licenses, no fees, open to all authors, and community-owned. Craft2A published a blog post where you can also read about the details. And the scope of the criteria application is purely pragmatic, and it serves for the purpose in the context of the project's framework and services. And this criteria cannot be considered as a quality label if journals fulfills them. Now we will look closer at each one of these criteria. The first of them is persistent identification, and all journals in DDH must have a persistent identifier, namely a valid and confirmed ESSN number. Different ESSNs exist for print and electronic versions, so we want the one for the open access version. Second, all journals in DDH must be scholarly journals, which means that they have a rigorous evaluation process. And this evaluation process can involve peer review or another type of evaluation in line with the accepted practices in the relevant discipline. Third, DDH requires journals to have a statement on the journal's website that the journal's content is published open access. We don't accept access restrictions such as institutional login or registration on the website. Also, partial or embargoed open access do not work for us. And formulations like free to read are also not enough. Also, the entire content of the journal's issues must carry license information, preferably Creative Commons, but other open licenses will do as well. The next criterion is no fees. Publication in the journal should not depend on the payment of fees of any kind. No APCs, no hidden fees, no membership fees. Voluntary author contributions are allowed, but they should not be the prerequisite for publication. Submission fees refundable on acceptance are also not compatible with Diamond Open Access. The next requirement is that authorship in the journal should not be limited to any type of affiliation. Any author should be able to submit an article to the journal. Journals that are open to all authors should not restrict the publication to the members of any learned society or institutions and must be open for all. The last criterion, probably the most difficult to make binary decisions on, and that I got a lot of questions on, is community owned. So the journal title must be owned by public or non-profit organizations whose mission includes performing or promoting research and scholarship. I will touch upon some difficult cases that I was previously asked about. So if a publishing company is private but works for the public good, its journals still can be included in DDH. Or if a commercial publisher is in practice rather a technical provider of an institutional publisher, and this institutional publisher makes all editorial decisions, its journals also can be considered community-owned. So briefly, and the main idea is that a research community should be in charge of editorial decisions and processes in the journal. The criteria I presented will in most cases be checked by institutional publishers who collaborate with DDH and who are trusted data sources, trusted data providers of DDH. And at this point, I want to introduce to you the editorial model of DDH. As already mentioned, the data comes into DDH mainly from trusted sources such as institutional publishers, and their primary responsibility is to verify their journals using the diamond criteria that I described. The DDH team will support trusted sources in every possible way, and the relationships between trusted sources and DDH will be formalized through an agreement, likely in the form of a memorandum of understanding, but it's still in development and not clear yet. It will be also possible for individual journals that are not part of any institutional publisher to apply for being added to DDH, and the requests from such journals we plan to verify by the editorial team of DDH that will consist of active members of the Diamond publishing community. And we will start building this team from the Craft2A consortium members, and the team will hopefully grow from there. In order to facilitate the verification process and to help institutional publishers in their verification efforts, We prepared guidelines that contain practical recommendations on how to apply each of the diamond criteria. And we also created a spreadsheet for collecting difficult and ambiguous cases. The DDH team do not want to be and should not be a gatekeeper. Our editorial model is based on partnership and trust, meaning that the verification decisions are in hands of the institutional publishers, and ambiguous cases will be discussed and decided upon in the community of diamond publishers. And these decisions then can flow back into the verification guidelines, improving them, specifying them, making them more detailed and better comprehensible. Currently, DDH is still in development, but we already have an alpha version of the system, and this screenshot shows you how the list of diamond journals look like to any internet user. As you see, we have diamond criteria, separate tags, and you can also find some of the journal metadata on the page. DDH will also list its data sources and highlight and emphasize the trusted ones. Also, users who are representative of trusted data sources will be able to upload their verified diamond journals to DDH, and on the screenshot you can see how the data upload using a spreadsheet template looks like. Diamond journals can also be harvested back from DDH and reused on other platforms and aggregators. Here I'm showing you an example of how it can look like on Herchak, for example. You can label diamond journals from DDH with the logo of DDH. This could be one option. I just want to demonstrate that the data of DDH will be open to reuse. We have not found a standard for the exchange of journal metadata that would serve the purpose of DDH, including the coverage of individual diamond criteria. So we offer created a new journal metadata exchange format. It is a JATS inspired XML format that will be used for ingesting the data into DDH, but also for exposing the journal data from DDH for harvesting. In order to make the data ingest possible, we are working on an OGS plugin that will be able to convert the journal data to GEMEF, to this new format that we offer. On the next slide, you can see the elements of the GEMEF format that correspond to diamond criteria. Currently, we work with the first version of this GEMEF, which will be further developed and improved because we really see a potential of it becoming a standard. Now I am coming to an end and want to summarize. So DDH has many facets. It includes diamond criteria, predefined data workflows. DDH follows the principles of interoperability and reuse. DDH is a service from the community for the community. It relies on the collaboration with trusted sources, and the editorial effort is based on the IPSP partnership. And thank you for your attention. And now I'm ready to take questions.